Ow, 6D diesels. So on today's top quality, will it start involving a bit of fixie and stuff. 1983 Bedford CF 230 van. Been sat a little while. Pretty sure it does run. Got a bit of a gearbox issue. Last time they went to move it, clutch was stuck. So I tried doing the old chari to get the clutch to free off, and that broke reverse gear. So current should go forwards, won't go backwards. Got a gearbox, got some batteries, some stuff, some bits and bobs. We're going to get it kicked off. We're only about 4 miles from my yard. So then what we're going to do then is scooty this top quality machine with the trade plates of immunity, on the front of it, back to my place and throw a gearbox in it at great speed and maybe give it a wash and then sell it. Right, here it goes. Got this strange thing in the sky today that we don't see very often in Britain. It's like sunny and hot. The man's had to resort to t-shirts because he was dying in his black hoodie. Right, so I have located a dipstick, no jokes about it being me, thank you very much, which has absolutely bugger all on it. Might need to attend to that. But I'm going to need some oil. I have nothing on it. Oh, there's nothing on it and it won't go back in the hole. Oh, that will. Right, let's try this again. No, there's nothing on that. Right, need to fix that. So, what about, ooh, coolant? No, we haven't got any of that either. We've got none of that. Oh, there's some coolanty noises. Right, so man's going to have to go and find oil and coolant. Shall be back in a minute. Right, so as you will have seen, we've just sorted the oil and the coolant based situations. Now apparently it was running like a year and a half ago, so cam belt wise and stuff, turning over in us, we reckon we're going to be alright. I mean, it's a slanty engine. I don't know, I wouldn't have said it's a 2.3, I reckon it's like an 1800 possibly, because it is only a little van, isn't it, like a lightweight. We'll work all that out later. So what we've got to try and do now is clamber in it, because the battery is in the back behind the passenger seat. So old Tubbs here is going to have to try and throw himself in there because he ain't getting in over there. Right, so after a bit of clambering around, we have connected this big bugger to the battery, which is down there in the floor. I'm going to open here. Blimey. Yep, that's our gear. The choke is already pulled out. Now let's see. Turn the steering wheel a bit. Oh, have we got? We've got lights. So we have a hue light, so we just go cranking on it. We'll see what happens. It's not going to bust off straight away, is it? It's not going to bust off at all, is it? Oh. Right. That's rubbish. A slightly better battery and a battery pack. And we're going to get cranking on it and see what happens. possible lack of spark, possible lack of fuel. I'm going to need to find something flammable to squirt in it to see which one it is. Right, so it's got electronic ignition on it, so that eradicates any point problems. What I'm going to do is we'll clean the rotor, or the whatever, yeah. Clean the dizzy cap, clean the rotor arm, give it a sniff of top quality brake cleaner. We'll leave the microphone here for noise purposes and see what happens. We would appear to have spark. I don't think we have any fuel. So we'll have another go at that. See if we can pump some fuel through, otherwise we're going to have to go and get some petroleum. Come on, suck something up. So, as you say, it fires with a sniff of brake cleaner, but we've got absolutely no fuel coming out of it whatsoever. So we're assuming there's a fair chance it's out of petrol. So we have a gallon of juice, we'll throw that in it, crank on it some more, see what happens. Right, juice. Not a lot of juice, but a bit. So, wedge fuel pipe back on. Where's fuel pipe? Fuel pipe is there. Let's push that back on there. Get on there, you horrible Bedford-based disaster. Not hopeful. Get another squirt. I reckon we're getting close. Do is sniff a load of petrol directly into the carburetor, see if that works. Way too much petrol, but anyway, that might work, you never know. It's in gear. Now what'll happen is the battery will go flat on the pile of turd, won't it? Hateful Bedford. Success! That did the trick. We need to do is wedge a load of petrol up its arse. Right. One running Bedford CF. Sounds quite sweet, doesn't it? Right. So the engine cover off. We hooked a load of bit of petrol down the carb and then a dose brake cleaner. That finally got her to pick fuel up from the tank, and she is sat here ticking over quite happily. What we're going to do is throw the engine cover back on, obviously turn the dash back down where it should be, and then we'll have to see if we've got clutch. Go and shut the back doors and see if it's going to move. Right. I've just got a carb pipe and an engine cover to pop on quickly. Yada. Ventilation system open. Right, there it goes. Tempted, I reckon. Have we got a clutch? Ooh, we have got a clutch. Right. Put these clips on this visor, people. Brake off as well, good going. What's reverse like? We got any reverse? Oh, reverse, you know, very healthy. Ooh. Yes, that's not very good, is it? That alive. Luckily enough, we're on a slope because we reverse just make a horrible crunchy bangy noise. It's not good. So what we're going to attempt to do is roll to the bottom of the yard, face it forwards, cleanse the windscreen, put some trade plates on it, drive it back to mine. Sounds like a really sensible plan. Just going to check the coolant situation again, but it's running. Yeah, I'll be fine. Right, peoples. So, we seem to be on. We're on 4 cylinders. Do some top quality rolling now because we haven't got to. I'll try reverse. Look, that's not working. Do a bit of coasting down here, and I'm just going to go and grab the gearbox out of a shed down the end there, and then basically a bit of a windscreen clean. We are away. Yes. Keep rolling. On the shipping container. Right. Forwards motion. Where's first? I'm first. Ooh. Here goes nothing. I've cleaned the window, fitted the trade plates. We have fuel. We have brakes. I'm not trying things like indicators. Not a necessity. Ooh. Right. Workshop key. Yes, we've got workshop keys. They're here. And we've got the history for a 2CV that I sold 3 years ago that I couldn't find. Marvellous. Guy's busy. Right. I think that's third. Yeah, it is third. Right. First. Second. Ooh, we are off. Third. Fourth. Right, 40 mile an hour. That will do. We're just cruising, people. maybe 5, without breaking down. Overheating, exploding, or blowing up. Oh, we're doing 50 as well. 50, yeah, that is 50. Right. I think the speed as she lies, this is definitely not 50. More like 30. Come on, clear out your fucker. That's it. You know you want to go. Ooh, now we're off. Gotta find just the right point on the throttle, I think. Ah, smooth. It's a 40 limit, you dickhead, isn't it? I'm doing 40. You're obviously not. It's the country, don't mind. Speed limits don't count in the country. You just go as fast as you want. And we are almost back to the yard, people. Wasn't too painful. Blah 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 cough 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 blah 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 blah. I'm still winkering. Oh, that winker works. Oh, we have got winkerage. Right. Mirror signal indicate. Incoming. Carburetor might need a clean, don't you? Bedford CF on the ramp. Sat here, I have a good 4-speed gearbox with a reverse that goes backwards. I've undone some prop shaft bolts, and what I'm going to do now, whip the prop shaft off, quickly whack this gearbox out. We need to take the gearbox bow housing. I'll be able to take the gearbox out of the back. I don't know whether we can do that. I'm just going to try and work out whether we need to take the whole thing out and then put the bow housing off of this one on that one, or whether we can just quickly sort of slide the gearbox in the back of it. I'll take this cross member out and do it a few more bits. So what I'm going to do now is time lapse this definitely shot, and then it will go back. obviously we've got that one out, which is Duff. Got this sort of reconditioned one from years ago to go back in new old stock. So basically I need to swap the bell housings over. This one appears to have a reversing light sensor on it, so we'll swap that over onto this one. Throw this in, quickly obviously bolt the bell housing, the cross shaft, bearings, bits and bobs on, and then fill this up with oil once it's up in there. Up, all bits bolted on. I'm not going to bother cleaning it to death, that can be the next person's joy. That's all we need to do now is get this thrown back in there. Between all the craziness of the day, customers, stuff, gearbox back in. So what I'm going to do now quickly off camera is fill it full of oil, because that's hardly very exciting. We'll whip up top, throw the gear lever in, because that's like a 2-minute screw thing, chuck some grease on it. And then and basically we're going to let it down. Before I let it down, I'll give you a good tour of this thing's pretty structurally sound. I mean, the chassis rails are good, the footwells are good. It does want some welding, so what I'm going to do is give you a good tour around the outside of it, so that if you do happen to decide to buy it off of eBay next week, you know exactly what you're in for. But as A-Reg Bedford CFs go, there's an awfully large amount of it here, and most of the stuff that is sort of separating and falling off is fairly cosmetic rather than massively structural. Right, so we go for a bit of a wander around this thing. So things we're going to need to attend to: rear quarter of the inner flitches, like the rear sill, that's a bit of rubbish. A big hole there, and we've slightly self-lightened there. Same on the other side here. You can see someone years ago tried to put some filler in there. The actual bottom sills are pretty good. There's a little hole there. When you get on the inside, she's good. All the floors are nice. Chassis legs are good. Spring hangers are good, both sides. So that's the battery tray down through. Footwells, they're all quite nice. I think the front chassis legs, some of the brake lines are going to want a bit of love. I mean, whether it's surface rust or, to be honest, it was me, I just replaced them. They look like to be the originals. Same coming down through there. You look at these footwells, they're all good. Always done backwards without banging the head for the 5th time today. Floor, obviously, is a gearbox we just chucked in. Front chassis legs are nice. There's a bit of obviously a lump coming on there. That will want attending to. But same up in here. It's all clean. The front cross is good. But you are going to need to attend to, there are some gacky bits coming on the end of the wings. So if you look in there, you can see that's fully flirting. That'll need sorting. And then on the other side, just here, obviously there's a big hole there. But the inner wings are not bad at all. Push this wheel over, he said if he could. So bottom corner of the wing here actually is quite solid, more solid than the other side. But the inner footwells up in there, they're not bad. So to be honest, I know I weld for a living, but you've got a bit on the back of the inner cross there, and that's not particularly good. But the rear spring hangers are in there and are solid. Most of the rear valance isn't too bad. I'm assuming this corner, you can see donkey just goes up and put some putty in there. So this is going to need attending to here, and then up through around the wheel arch. But I don't view any of that as killer for an 83 van. Let's be honest, there aren't any left. Back doors are good, front doors are good, bonnet's good. Let me just put this camera back on its mount and we'll let her down. We'll see if it moves. Hopefully this gearbox is as good as we hope it is. And if it goes backwards, I'm going to back it out there, gear to wash off. That's as long as it starts. Did I put the battery terminal back on? I don't think I put the battery terminal back on. Let's just go in here and check. We have a battery hooked up. That won't help, will it? No, I didn't. Right. Ooh, 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 ooh. Blimey. Right. Battery terminal looked up. Here goes.
How's it working?
It worked. We have all gears and reverse, nice and quiet. Clutch is about right. What we're going to do now is turn it back white quickly so that I can go home. Because unbelievably, it's 9 o'clock on a Saturday night. The things I do, eh, people? So, washy. And try not to get muck all over an immaculately almost finished restored Mercedes T1 that's sat there. We'll show you that in a minute. And some other stuff before we go home. Well, that looks a lot better. I haven't steamed it terribly hard because it's got some really rather cool decals, hand painted ones on the side, and I don't want to wash them off. So anyway, Bedford CF 1983 CF 230. There she is. If you want to own it, it'll be on eBay probably the Sunday this goes on, as long as I get on it. It runs, it drives, it stops, it starts. But you are going to need to attend to some structural, and it would be a great shame to paint it. And as I say, we have got the sign that came off the side of the factory, and we know all of its history. It is one owner, I think, well, two owners, the company, and then the man that owned the company kept it. That's where it came from. And what I will do quickly is I'll show you the T1, which is about the same year. She's Y reg, this is A reg, and I managed not to get gack all over it, and you can have a quick look at that. So, T1, 210, 2.3 petrol, 5-speed manual. Was very rusty, very rusty. You'd have seen it in the back of all our pictures for the last year and a half. Mainly done by good old Dom, to be honest. He did all the structural, so jack points, inner and outer seals, all the door bottoms. You'll see it's not quite had its windows fitted yet. We're waiting for the trims. I've got to go, not the trims, the rubbers. I've got to go and pick them up on Monday. All the window apertures were rotted out. The wings were rotted off of it. The front valance had evaporated. This is finally almost done. So look at that. But a couple of people asked me about T1 work. We will do it, but please do remember this type of stuff sadly isn't cheap because it does take an awfully large amount of time. But she's minty. It's just got to be cut and polished and put back together next week, and we're waving that off back to its owner. I'm going to quickly swing round. We'll go back to the other side of this van, and then I think that'll be me done for the day. So, not a bad Saturday's work. Dug it out of a hedge, barn and shed, wherever it was, got it going, wobbled it back down the road down here, removed the knackered gearbox, changed it for a good one, give it a bit of a wash off. There it is. We're going to attempt to steaming off the rest of the engine and stuff over the next couple of days. And as I say, I'm going to take a load of photographs now, and this will be on eBay, 99p, no reserve, away she goes, tomorrow. So if you want to own a 1983 Bay Reg Bedford CF, little diddly van, thank you very much, Al 6D Diesels.